Hey everybody and welcome back. Today we're going to continue working through the NPCs of Stardew Valley. Last time we talked about... who again? Oh, right. Jazz did not in fact kill me in my sleep. So that means I can cover her partner in crime / fall guy Vincent today. For the record though, Vincent is like pretty normal. So if you're looking for something juicy, I don't know, go rewatch the Stardew Valley trials to be disappointed by Shawnee Dew or something. Anyway, Vincent. Wow. What an interesting little guy. Vincent lives at 1 Willow Lane with his mother Jody and his brother Sam. After the farmer's first year in the valley, Kent will move home and Vincent's loving family will finally be complete. Just as most of the valley does, Vincent sticks to a pretty specific schedule. He attends the valley's only excuse for schooling on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Friday at the museum, where Penny teaches Jazz, Vincent, and eventually Leo about the way the world works. You see, there's no school in Pelican Town, and Vincent is certainly suffering for that fact. While Penny compliments Jazz for her math and reading skills, she has to kind of pivot to simply saying that Vincent has an active imagination. How nice. Perhaps it's that active imagination that leads to Vincent worrying so much about his father both before and after Kent's return. In the farmer's first year, they can view a scene with Vincent and Sam at the beach if they've achieved 3 hearts with Sam. While it's a Sam, heart scene, I find it interesting that Vincent has been getting news about the military casualties from the grown-ups in town. Vincent doesn't interact with many adults, so it's kind of a short list of where he might have heard that. There's Penny, of course, though I doubt she would be providing him such, dangerous and sad and delicate information. He lives with Jody, and she's almost certainly concerned about the war effort, but he wouldn't say adults when referring to his mother. He'd just say mom like he does in every other reference to Jody. He visits the clinic on Spring 11 with his mom, and it's possible that Harvey and Jody discuss the military casualties and that maybe Vincent overhears it at that point. Alternatively, I guess it's also possible that he just overhears it from one of the villagers during a festival, but who's talking about war at the romantic flower dance? I'm gonna guess George, actually, now that I think about it. Either way, despite Vincent not having a towering intellect, he's aware of the way the world works. People die if they are killed. And Vincent fully understands that his father might not ever come home. That's a tough burden to shoulder for a kid who should just be enjoying the egg hunt and digging up clay. And actually, can you give me just a second to complain about something? Well, or reminisce, or whatever, I don't know. Because Vincent hates clay, right? I worked on a video a while back based on the worst Feast of the Winter Star gift givers. And I was thinking Vincent would be one of them, but looking at it now, I'm kind of tempted to pick Marnie. Or maybe, actually, no, we'll go with Evelyn. Because Marnie gives you 12 white eggs, which, thanks, I guess. I can cook with these or make them into mayo, or they recover 25 energy each, I suppose. I mean, I could sell them for 600 gold as well if I need to, so that's fine. But Evelyn gives me a batch of cookies, and while that's very sweet of her, they only recover 90 energy, which is 4 eggs. And they're worth 140 gold, which is 3 eggs. And this does relate back to Vincent, I swear, because he can give you either clay, some geodes, an ancient doll, or a rainbow shell. The shell is worth actually decent money, and you need it for a quest. The doll might be needed for a remixed bundle, the museum, or even to make a really creepy shirt. The geodes are fine, I guess, and the clay is honestly not as bad as I first made it out to seem. I gave you a hard time, Vincent, and you didn't deserve it. For that, I apologize. And that was a very long story to get back to the point that even though Vincent hates clay, he gives it to you sometimes for the Feast of the Winter Star. So you know what? Maybe I don't apologize, Vincent. That's just not right. Because when we really think about it, Vincent, when we really think about it, if I gave you a piece of clay at the Feast of the Winter Star, I would lose 200 friendship points with you, and that's equivalent to almost an entire heart. Why would you do this to me, Vincent? Anyway, Vincent is a pretty normal kid, beyond being recognized by his tutor as maybe not so intellectually gifted as Jazz. But we already know that Jazz is kind of a weird kid, so that's probably not the worst thing in the world. I would wager that Vincent is perhaps a good foil to Jazz, since he's able to be the more empathetic or emotional of the two. He even talks about his secret crush on Penny when you've achieved 6 hearts with him, which, I mean, can be pretty cute as long as you're not, like, actively married to her, Vincent. What's interesting about that dialogue, though, is that Vincent, the little kid who eats dirt, is the only dude in the valley manly enough to talk about his crush, to talk about his feelings. Props to Vincent for that. The last thing I would bring your attention to is the Oraguemon, ? So that's like Frogman, right? When you go into Vincent's bedroom, totally normal, I assure you, you can find a small chest in the corner, just like the boxes behind Clint's and inside the saloon. You can place a specific item, in this case a strange bun, into these chests to get a secret statue. And Vincent's is the thing. Why does Vincent have a full-sized green, froggy, dinosaur-looking humanoid statue stuffed into a chest 4 feet from his bed? Well, I don't know. Maybe it's his fursuit. Or maybe it's a reference to the US Navy frogmen of the past. Like scuba diver folks? I don't know. Like his dad is kind of a Marine? Man, that's a big leap. Maybe he's just a kid with a giant toy in his bedroom and you stole it from him. But honestly, that's kind of all I've got for the little dude. To me, Vincent feels kind of like a late addition. I think I remember reading once that Concerned Ape added Vincent and Jazz because it felt strange to not have any kids in the valley. I couldn't actually find that interview while I was putting this video together, but that is definitely like the vibe that I get, from Vincent at least, not necessarily Jazz. She seems much more deep to me. But Vincent, though, he's just kind of here, you know? Like, he's the more emotionally intelligent kid, while Jazz is the more intellectual one. He loves his family, and he becomes really close to the farmer over time, even telling them that they're his favorite adult. But, man, he only has, like, 20 lines of dialogue outside of events, which kinda just makes him boring. What do you think about Vincent? Is he actually the evil mastermind of the kids? Or is he just like window dressing, added to make the town feel like a place where kids could actually grow up? I don't know. Let me know down in the comments. And hey, keep an eye out for a poll because we are going to need to talk about marriage candidates pretty soon, and I'm sure that that'll just go swimmingly.